We're now being joined on News Track by one of the brains behind the protest, Mr. Anthony Ehilebo. Welcome to News Track, Mr. Ehilebo.
Good afternoon.
Now, how would you describe your experience and your meeting with the lawmakers yesterday? Would you say they were eager ears?
Well, they didn't have, let's say they didn't have a choice. Yesterday, what you saw in Abuja and the National Assembly was an activation of the Office of the Citizen, which, by our democratic tenets, is the highest office in the land. You know, it surpasses the Office of the President. The Office of the Citizen demands and it gets, because we are the people so affected by whatever laws our distinguished senators and honorable members in the National Assembly make.
But what are your expectations from the lawmakers, having registered your protest?
Well, we expect a lot more from them. As a matter of fact, I've been following up the interviews you've had. The interview you had this morning with Yemi Ademalakun of Enough is Enough, and where she outlined what we expect more from the National Assembly. She mentioned that, and that's rightly so, we have over 6 different organizations taking biometric and digital data from Nigerians. What is the National Assembly doing to protect this data? What are data protection laws? So where they've come up with a bad bill, the Office of the Citizen, have decided that we are going to make our own bills and give to them to pass. That's the way it should be. And also, we're also concerned that reports reaching us was that there was a Facebook training for our senators. We're going to use the FOI to request from the National Assembly records of those who attended that training. Because you see, it is very basic and fundamental for our representatives and senators in the National Assembly to be able to communicate with us. And we feel digital and social media platforms are the next level of communication. And if they fail to take that and take that on, then there's no need for them in the National Assembly, because if they can't communicate with me, if my senator representing me I cannot reach him. Of course, phone calls, they probably will not pick. But a Facebook message, an email, or a tweet at the senator, he will see what my concerns are as citizens. As indeed, following the tenets of democracy, they are representatives of our wishes and interests. And as we've said to them with this protest, a big no to a law they try to prescribe to criminalize criticism. And as you know, we have a new government, we have a lot of expectations. Nigeria is in a dire state. As I speak to you, the petrol queues are still there. People are still dying in the Northeast. We have the unrest in the Southeast. These are a lot of issues we feel the National Assembly and indeed the Senate should have taken more interest in than passing a bill within 2 weeks, second reading. The only other thing we know, as we speak to you, that they've done today, past second reading, is probably the appropriation bill.
But Mr. Ehilebo, I would like to come in here. Some of the senators have argued that it is the frivolous petitions bill and not the anti-social media bill, as it's widely being referred to, and it's not to guide the media.
Let us drop the name of the bill. The name, it's even a frivolous bill as far as we are concerned. The bill itself is a frivolous bill, but it's not in the name. They call it frivolous petition. What do they mean by that? If you have to write a petition, you have to go to court. Look, let's not get it wrong. We are the employers of the people. They are our employees. The senators, the 109 senators we have in the National Assembly, are employees of the people. So for you to ask people who are your employers to go to court to swear an affidavit in 2015, we're already looking like a pariah nation because of what was signed 2 weeks ago, not assented to the defense of people who defend human rights at the UN. Senator Powers was very emphatic in placing Nigeria on that list. And then you want to, as the Senate of Nigeria. Now, let me tell you something. Within the 8-month span of the life of this 8th Senate, for the first time in the history of Nigeria, SARAP has already petitioned the UN. So the UN is going to stage a hearing on the Nigerian Senate. It is very shameful. It is very shameful, and we're really deeply worried about the Senate, and we have decided to pay a very close attention moving forward on what the activities of the National Assembly are. And we will not fail to exercise the Freedom of Information Act that was signed sometime last year, and exercise its powers therein to request for information about how this National Assembly, and indeed in particular, the Senate is going about their affairs.
But would you agree that there can be some excesses on social media?
Look, let's even look at the specific social media platforms. You have Facebook, you have Twitter, you have Instagram.
Yes.
They already have control measures for abuse. Senator Dino Melaye, who argued for that bill last week on the floor of the Senate, has blocked me as a follower on Twitter. So whatever I say, he can never see it. It's more like going to the market and saying that because people are making conversation in the market or saying what you are doing in the marketplace should be criminalized. There are laws that adequately deal for this. We have the slander laws, we have the defamation laws, we have the anti-cybercrime bill that was passed sometime last year. All these things adequately capture and deal with the situation. You know what is more laughable to Nigerians? It's in fact the timing of this bill, that we have more pressing problems that we feel our senators in the National Assembly should be more focused on than trying to say that this bill, it is not necessary. We already have enough laws to deal with these issues. If you feel that someone has defamed your character, you go to court. Let us test our judicial system. These things still work.
Thank you so much, Mr. Anthony Ehilebo, for joining us on News Track.
Thank you very much.